Welcome to Discovering. The UP Woods is full of tasty wonders. I'm heading out to see what I can round up for dinner.
And I jumped on board the Laker Taker for the annual Lake Trout Classic Powderpuff Tournament.
And over the 19 years, we've donated over $100,000 to the Cancer Association.
Put your feet up and come on along. It's Monday night and time for Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill. The eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
The UP is certainly host to a wide variety of forest edibles. When we think about wild edibles, I'm sure mushrooms are the first thing that come to mind for most of us. More specifically, and this time of year, morels. But with a little research, you'll find there's a lot more out there than just shrooms. So I did some research and set out on a mission to collect, cook, and enjoy some tasty UP wild edibles in the comfort of the outdoors. Where does the camper fit into this adventure? Well, it started about a month ago, when I decided I would do some turkey season camping. So I hooked up the Silver Bullet and headed to one of my favorite non-campground camping spots. Typically when I say turkey hunting, I really mean filming turkey hunting. I tag along and do my best to capture someone's hunt on film. This season was going to be different. I would be hunting, and, well, filming too. My son Jason stepped in to help with the filming as well. We hunted. And hunted. And hunted again. Had some close calls, but Mr. Turkey beat us by a nose every time. I decided to leave the Silver Bullet in the woods. Kind of a home away from home. A remote base camp of sorts. A place to go when I need to relax, cook over a fire, or just hide out. So when I hit the woods to see what I could dig up, pull up, and pick for dinner, my woodsy hangout was the obvious spot to call the kitchen. The first item on the menu, dandelions. Before you start to wonder how I cook dandelions, I'll tell you right out, I didn't. There are a number of ways I discovered that I could have prepared them. You can use the greens to make a salad or just fry them up. You can make wine or jelly. My plan was to dip the flowers in batter and deep fry them for a snack. Unfortunately, by the time I even got to the woods, they were already wilted beyond recognition. Next on the menu, cattails. Like dandelions, there are a number of ways you can satisfy your hunger on cattails, and all parts from the roots to the flower heads are edible. Which part you want to try revolves considerably around the time of year. It's spring, so I was targeting the fresh shoots at the base of the stalk. The pollen at the top can be collected and used as a flour substitute in pancakes or breads. The flowers are best eaten in early season when they first spike up from the leaves, kind of like little cobs of corn. You can saute the leaves in butter. In the fall or early winter, dig up the roots, dry them out, and they can also be used as a flour substitute. Next on the list, spruce tips. Spruce tips are the new spring growth at the end of the branch and are pretty easy to find. They're everywhere. These tender and tasty springtime sprouts offer up citrusy flavors which can vary from tree to tree, so I'm told. Can't say that I've ever eaten a spruce tip, but we'll give it a try. Now it's off to the hardwoods for another versatile and easy to find menu item, leeks. Dig them out with a spoon, or a knife if you forgot to bring a spoon, being careful not to disturb more ground than necessary. Also, if you recall a past show with shiitake Matt, do not overharvest from a single patch. Skip around a bit, grab a few here and a few there. Usually it's the white to light green parts that get eaten, but you can use the darker green parts as well. Their sweet oniony flavor is a bit more subtle than green onions. You can eat leeks in a variety of ways. Slice them up for a garnish with meats or fish, add them to your salad. Basically anywhere you would use an onion, you could use a leek. I just think they're better because I didn't have to plant them. My handful of leeks were destined for some sort of sauce to accompany tasty breast of grouse fried in a pan over a fire. Time to cook. We'll start off with some campfire bread. Pretty simple. Flour, baking powder, pinch of salt, a couple tablespoons of butter, and some water. You can make this bread in a Dutch oven, a frying pan, or even wrap it around a stick and prop it up next to the fire. Time to prepare the main course of the meal, ruffed grouse, or partridge as many of us tend to refer to it as. Grouse conjures up thoughts of fall, a cool day quietly sneaking through the UP woods, eyes sharpened looking under every tree. With a little luck and some hunting expertise, you can bag a bird. This one hit the back window of my house. I like to keep the marinade simple. Stuff I have on hand. Garlic, a piece of an orange left over from last night's old fashioned, and some of the leeks I picked. Today's seasoning, cooking wild breakfast seasoning. Yes, you can use it for more than breakfast sausage. Mix well with a hot beer I found in the camper and let it do its thing. Time to check the bread. Now I've made this bread more than once. Sometimes it turns out great, sometimes it just doesn't. Most of the time I tend to add too much heat and too little attention and end up with, well, this. Here's an example of what cooking it correctly can look like. Now here's something that may not necessarily fit into today's lineup, but I had to give it a try. Spruce tips. You can toss them on a salad, make syrups, jelly, even beer. There'll be no salad, and I don't have time to whip up a batch of spruce tip beer, so jelly it is. Sounds like it's similar to making any sort of fruit jelly, which I know nothing about. First step, chop them up and let them boil. Good time to prepare my cattails. Like spruce tips, I've never done anything with cattails, other than filming birds sitting on them, so this is an experiment. I'm using only the bottom 8 inches, peeling away the green to get to the hearts of the stalk. Supposedly raw, this part tastes like a cucumber. I'm going to boil them up. Now that my spruce tips have boiled long enough, we'll strain off the liquid and see what it looks like. Spruce juice. Add some lemon juice and bring it to a boil. Add sugar and pectin, and we're on our way to spruce jelly. Maybe. Now for the leeks. As I mentioned, you can eat them in a variety of ways, but today we're going to turn them into some sort of leek cream sauce and pour it over those marinating grouse breasts. Some butter, some olive oil, saute the leeks for a couple of minutes. Toss in some garlic and let it go another couple minutes. Add some chicken stock, salt and pepper, and let that cook till almost all of the liquid is gone. Heavy cream. Now it's starting to look like something I want to taste. Before finishing up dinner, I took the time for a walk in the woods. Well, all in all, it worked out pretty good. My spruce tip jelly apparently didn't do what it was supposed to do. I'm sure there's a bunch of jelly makers watching right now who know exactly what I did wrong. Maybe I can use it to soften up that bread. I'm pretty sure it's destined to become a spruce tip margarita. And you may notice I'm eating with a pair of tongs. Yes, I forgot a fork. The grouse topped with leek cream sauce was better than I could have imagined. I'll definitely be using leeks more often. I do need to do more research and experimentation on anything cattail. And maybe on the next round we'll try some deep fried dandelions. Take some time, do some research, and see what you can cook up with a simple trip to the woods. The supply chain is pretty reliable, the cost never fluctuates, and it's bound to be delicious.
I covered the Ontonagon Lake Trout Powderpuff tournament a few years ago, and unfortunately, we didn't catch any fish. It was probably the luck of bringing a video camera on board. So when I was asked to join a team this year, I crossed my fingers that wouldn't be the case again. This year I joined the Culligan family on the Laker Taker. Our captain is Tom Culligan, and the three-woman team is his wife Ann, their daughter Stacy, and myself. Rules are:
The guys can set the lines, but the ladies have to net the fish and catch the fish. That makes it pretty interesting.
I wasn't worried about our team having any troubles catching and netting the fish. I was with a couple of experienced pros.
So, Ann, what's our game plan today?
Catching lots of fish. And the most is the biggest. Yeah, we're just going to troll up and down here and hopefully they will cooperate.
The forecast for the day wasn't all that good. At 5:30 a.m. it was actually pretty calm and balmy up until we launched the boat, and then the sky opened up and the rain started. Other than the rain, the weather wasn't terrible. Tom got our lines out, and it wasn't long before we had a fish on. Fish number one in the live well. I told you they were pros.
How many times have you done this powder puff?
I think we started right at the beginning, right?
First one.
What is it, 19 years? It's just fun being out here. I don't care, win or lose. It's for a good cause.
Proceeds of this tournament benefit the Ontonagon County Cancer Association, an organization that means a lot to this family, as Ann is a recent cancer survivor.
Cancer survivor. Last fall I was diagnosed with cancer and I just got a good report and I'm cancer free right now, so that's good. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, it's definitely close to our heart now, for sure. Glad to be back fishing. It's the best medicine in the world, I think. Okay. It's not going to be far. No. You ready? Stuck on the net. Oh, completely. Good job. Nice fish. Yeah,
Number
nice.
2 in the live well. We need at least one more.
The next one is you.
It wasn't long, and that rolled in. The wind picked up, and the rain too. We decided to turn the boat around and fish our way back to the marina. Just as we were thinking about pulling the lines in, one of the planer boards took off. Now it's my turn. It was a workout staying upright with the waves. After only a few short hours, the tournament was called because of the weather. But even in that short amount of time, there were plenty of fish to be weighed in.
12.85.
1196.
8.33 for the largest salmon. What's your guys? 13.85. 14.48.
That was Johnny.
Well, that's it for this week. Be sure to check out 906outdoors.com, where you'll find the 906 Fishing Report, TV6 weather, shopping, and more. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next week, right here on Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.